I felt like menopause was controlling me, and I was just like at the surface of the water, just trying to breathe. And now I feel like I'm in control. I'm swimming strongly and I'm not being overpowered by the wave of menopause. My body is mine, even in this crazy evolution that is menopause. And with also a level of acceptance that I'm going to continue to need this time and attention and love, and that through the menopause journey, it is a journey, therefore, there isn't an end point right now. So I may need to change what I'm doing or work with different mantras or do more or do less or do other things. And I'm okay with that. I feel so different about being in menopause, having made this switch from really loathing my body and feeling frustrated with it in this process to now really loving it again. To Hope for Your Pelvic Floor, the podcast where honest conversation meets real evidence-based solutions for your pelvic health. I'm Claire Sparrow, second-generation Pilates teacher, educator, and best-selling author. I'm here to help you understand your body better, move with confidence, and finally get answers that make sense. Each week, we'll bust myths, share insights from movement science and pelvic health research, and give you practical steps you can actually use in your everyday life. Because pelvic health isn't just about exercises, it's about reconnecting with yourself. One breath, one choice, and one movement at a time. Let's get started. Welcome back. It's another episode of Hope for Your Pelvic Floor. It's great to see you, great to be back. I'm really in shock that we're already deep into season 3. I still feel like, wow, I tried this out at the start of the year and can't stop, really. And this episode is in response to a recent newsletter that I sent out to my whole body pelvic health newsletter community. And the newsletter was titled Why I Laid Out My Mat Every Day for a Month and What Happened. And this newsletter has absolutely gone wild. It's gone bananas. So many of you have reached out with feedback, with positive responses to what I shared in that newsletter. And in the episode today, what I'd like to do is to tell you a little bit about my experience of laying my mat out every day for a month, what motivated me to do that, and some of the tips and tricks that helped me to stay with my mat. And the motivating factor really was around finding love for my body and my practice again, reconnecting and just getting over the attitude that I had developed over the previous year. I've shared quite a bit before about my menopause journey. In the first episode of this season, I shared already a little bit about this practice that I introduced over the summer holidays. And I think it's important that I am honest, that I don't hold back in the experiences that I'm going through, because maybe in something that I share, it gives you a little bit of inspiration or motivation. And also that you can see that I'm not on some kind of pedestal. I'm still in process and working through my menopause, working through my pelvic health, working through mothering and all of the things that we do and deal with as women. And it really began in July of 2024 when I admitted menopause was happening and that it wasn't just the kind of hangover feelings from COVID and the lockdown that we all went through, because during that time, 2020, 2021, I felt like I was losing who I was. I felt exhausted beyond belief. And all of these things that I just put down to the stress and the challenges that we were all going through with COVID-19. And it wasn't until really, we were fully feeling, well, back to normal as much as we could feel back to normal after what we went through, that I started to admit that those things I was experiencing were not really just because of that, and that there was a lot more to it. My mood swings were ridiculous. I was just such a grumpy person and not at all like myself. And it felt like an out of body experience. And in that out of body experience, I could see this person that I was being, the negativity, the short fuse. I could see myself distancing from my own body, this thing that I prioritize, that I always look after, all of this positivity and the good relationship that I built over a long time with my own body. I just felt like my body was letting me down again. I was just in this unknown thing. Things that had worked in terms of exercise before just weren't feeling the same. And I was frustrated. I'm not going to lie. I was frustrated with my body. I was frustrated to have to be going through something else. I worked so hard on my pelvic health and felt really empowered by what I'd overcome. And then to have something else to deal with just felt super frustrating. And so I kind of was in denial. I just avoided my body. I didn't care for it as mindfully. I was going through the motions, if that makes sense. I was keeping up with a lot of the same things because I don't like to say to everybody else, do these things and not be doing them. But I wasn't doing them with love and a real sense of nurture. And yeah, I was just going through the motions, if I'm honest, and it just didn't feel right. So in August, I thought about all of my members. I thought about the things that I share with them, and I was going through the membership and all the different components of the membership. And one of them is a module with the habit expert, Rebecca Liliendahl from Habit Sense. And what Rebecca teaches is so important for us all. And it's a lesson that I feel like I need to keep learning. And she reminded me that it's the smallest action, the very first teeny weeny little step that we take that really starts the momentum to build a new successful habit. Now, I already had some good habits. It was about my belief system and my mindset. So I knew that I needed to reconnect with my body in a more loving and consistent way. And I needed to get rid of the block that I was struggling to get past. So it turned out to be the very simple act of rolling out my beautiful mat every day. That was literally all it took. Remembering that it's only that small thing of laying the mat out that sets the wheels in motion. So even the act of, the mat is beautiful. My friend Ria, she designed these beautiful mats. And so I have a lovely mat. It feels nice. It's pastel colors. So there's something about using a mat that felt like I was already making a loving choice to have a nice mat for myself. That if I can have that nice mat and roll that nice mat out for myself, that I also deserve to do the movement with that same love, that I was already putting those wheels in motion of love and appreciation for myself. And it really started to unravel the negativity that I had. and create more of an open mind. And I think for so many of us, if you're listening, maybe you've had a diagnosis of prolapse or you've gotten frustrated with incontinence, but there's this thing where there's almost a negative or a negative connotation or a disconnect there. And then this is the opportunity for us to go, okay, we're starting from a new beginning. This is me now. How can I love and appreciate me now and give me what I need now? For me, it was spending just a small amount of time. So I started with 8 minutes in the morning where it was short enough that it wasn't overwhelming, that I didn't get distracted and carried back off into negative thoughts. And it was enough time to do something that was really nurturing in that time. And then I followed that up later in the day, 20 minutes. So a longer amount of time. So we had a short morning routine, building on this kind of simple plan that I've done for a long, long time, but doing it in a much more appreciative mindset for the menopause body that I am in now. And what I was doing 10 years ago might not be feeling the same in the body I have today. And it's so funny, as I say this, I'm like, duh, Claire, that's so obvious. But I still needed to go through that process. And I think if I needed to, chances are some of you probably need to go through that. We are not our 20-year-old or 30-year-old bodies. We are the bodies we're in today, and we need to find a way back to it and into it. That's how I felt anyway, finding my way back to it. Literally breath work, using manifestation as part of the movement. So asking myself to create a little mantra as I was moving, so that I was in positive thinking rather than the negative story and frustration and annoyance. I was saying things like, I believe I can, and things that were very specific to what I want to get out of my body. So for a long time, I felt like, I don't know, giving up maybe, not like terrible, but, I just felt like, well, just, this is it. I'm just going to accept that I'm not going to be that strong, agile, fit person that I was. And actually, I needed to say, I believe I can be strong for me today. And allowing that, I believe I can be strong for me today mantra to come through. It was wild. It really changed the way that I was moving. It changed the way I felt about my body, even just when we were going on our big hikes up the hills in Scotland. All of those things just really helped me to have a much more positive attitude and relationship with my body. And this is something that I would encourage all of you to do, because the voice we hear most in life is our own. If your voice is doing what mine has been doing and being a bit naggy, a bit negative, a bit blah, 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 then using a simple mantra that you can really believe in, not some waffly out there, but something that you can really believe in, it will change things for you really, really quickly. You could do something like, I am. So that's something that's a really common way to do a mantra, and repeating it so that you believe and trust it and you can feel it in your body and it resonates with you. Or you can do my body is as a statement. So my body is strong, because my body is strong. We are capable women, we are capable bodies. So we can believe that. And the more that we can say, if I said my body is strong, then I approach the movement as a strong woman. So that was my kind of little morning mantra that then ended up kind of carrying me through the day, but it was within the movements. So I was taking control of my thoughts while I was doing the movements in my morning practice. And then in the evening, I was doing my 20 minutes and I was giving myself 20 minutes to do something a little bit more rigorous. And I started as a Pilates teacher back in the day, 25 years ago, doing mat work, doing it in my own body. I'd done it for many years and I was teaching mat Pilates. Mat Pilates has 34 traditional exercises. So I decided that I would explore, not be strict and rigid to those 34, but that I would explore those 34 exercises with a view that I wanted to learn them today in the body I'm in today and have some fun with that, to be curious and maybe a bit silly and not sort of rigid and following rules and regulated, because I was doing it in my body, for my body. I'm not teaching those movements. In that time, I was just giving myself 20 minutes to play about with 34 Pilates exercises. Sometimes I did all of them, maybe just a few repetitions, and then sometimes I found some fun in one of them. I got really interested in a movement called rollover and then introducing from the rollover into the jackknife and into control balance. But if I had said to myself, right, today I am going to do those, what are quite challenging exercises on the surface of it, if I'd said to myself I was going to do it, I would have talked myself out of it. I would have had a negative story. Oh, they're advanced movements and what if this, what if that? You might not be warm enough in your body. All of the stories, the voice in my head telling me these things. But actually, because I approached it with this, there's no rules. I'm just going to play. The only rule is I'm playing with the 34 mat exercises, and that permission, taking the perfectionism out and treating it like an experiment, just actually made it really easy to stay committed and turn up and create this joyful habit. And now that it's October now, and in fact, I'm still doing it every day. There's 20 minutes of play, and it is just an absolute joy. We live, with so many rules and regulations and formalities and be here for this time and do this by that date. And then we have menopause that comes and just throws a spanner in all of that. Having this time to play has just been liberating. It really has made it a joyful habit. And it's, I feel quite emotional feeling how different I feel about myself and my body now at the other side of that. And it really did only take a month for me to build these habits. And this is quite, for a lot of you be thinking twice a day, that's a big habit, but it's less than 30 minutes a day. Many of us have Netflix binge watching sessions that are longer than that, or scrolling on Instagram that's longer than that, or doing laundry that takes longer than that somebody else could do for a change. But these things, like, it's two different moments in time with two different intentions, yet what it's done for me, it's helped me reclaim myself, my body, my mind, and my blooming menopause journey. I felt like menopause was controlling me, and I was just like at the surface of the water, just trying to breathe. And now I feel like I'm in control. I'm swimming strongly and I'm not being overpowered by the wave of menopause. My body is mine, even in this crazy evolution that is menopause. And with also a level of acceptance that I'm going to continue to need this time and attention and love, and that through the menopause journey, it is a journey, therefore there isn't an end point right now. So I may need to change what I'm doing or work with different mantras or do more or do less or do other things. And I'm okay with that. I feel so different about being in menopause, having made this switch from really loathing my body and feeling frustrated with it in this process to now really loving it again. And in less than half an hour a day, it flicked the switch, and now it's October and I haven't looked back. I'm doing it all the time. So as I say, I know for some of you, you're like, oh my gosh, half an hour is still a lot. I know, I appreciate that. And I'm not saying that for everybody, you ought to go and do what I did. I just hope that from me sharing what I did, that I set this intention. And the intention was just like Rebecca from Habit Sense says, just that one small thing opens the gateway. And my one small thing was to lay out the mat. And your body, honestly, your body will know what to do next. Because I lay out the mat and then I was like, oh, it's so pretty, I'll lie there. And then before you know it, you're doing something. You are already in motion. And then we can layer in more movement, a mantra, something positive for you. Now, I really hope that my sharing, how much I've fallen in love with my body again, and admitting that I'd fallen out of love helps you. It helps you to recognize that it's normal. I think it's normal that we have positives and negative feelings and experiences of our body. And, my body just felt like a stranger. And now I'm like, oh, who is this foxy lady? I'm so happy to be in my body. And I'm not letting menopause take over. I'm not going to keep losing myself in this menopause journey. I'm going to keep connected. And I hope that sharing with you today is a call for you to reconnect and stay connected. Whether you're menopausing or you've recently had a prolapse diagnosis or you're fed up of the incontinence, whatever it is for you, can you reconnect? Can you reclaim your body where it is, who it is, how it is today, and find some love in it again? And it starts with one small habit, and maybe it's the same. Maybe it's rolling your mat out. Maybe it's sitting down for 1 minute in the morning and just breathing. Whatever that one tiny step is for you, why not make a commitment to that for a month? Reply, let me know what your commitment is and I'll check in with you. Can we really commit to a month of doing something that's going to help you to reconnect and reclaim yourself and your body again? That's my suggestion for you. And I really hope to hear from you, that you'll share with me what you've chosen to do as your little habit. And if you want to learn more, I'll put some details about Rebecca from Habit Sense. She's been a godsend. She's coached me. She's coached the ladies in my membership. And if you want to know more about the membership, I'll put the link for that also. There's so many free resources there, and there's the membership for you as well. I hope by sharing this has really helped you, and I look forward to seeing you in our next episode. Bye for now. Thanks for tuning in to Hope for Your Pelvic Floor. If this episode resonated with you, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who needs it. It really does help more women find the support they deserve. And for deeper support, head to wholebodypelvichealth.co.uk to explore the Whole Body Pelvic Health membership and many free resources. You can ask more from your pelvic floor, and I'll be here, your voice of hope, every step of the way.